so strong on difficulties, but they had achieved a very good execution quality. And so the balance of that European Championship for Italy was 1 gold medal with the team and 5 individual apparatus finals and 1 gold medal at pommel horse and 1 bronze medal at floor exercise. And so this was our start situation. Then we can have a deeply look on the results, and so maybe it's a little bit small, but it's just to give you an example of what I regularly do. And so I try to study all the detailed results apparatus by apparatus, considering all the 4 gymnasts that compete in that apparatus for the team, and also the 3 top gymnasts that enter in the team score. And so in this way, it's possible to understand where there are the strong points of our team, our gymnasts, and which are the gap. And as I said, another important thing is to have some statistics of that kind of competition. For example, in this slide, you can see all the European Championship from Sofia 2014 to Munich 2022, and all the parameters that I said before. Of course, we have to interpret these results because, for example, until Bern 2016 was one code of point, and then the code of point changed after Rio Olympic. So we have to interpret this kind of result. And for each apparatus, I usually try to understand which gymnast and score are on the podium, and also the last score that is useful for qualification. Here you can see an example for floor exercise. I usually do this kind of statistics for all the apparatus, and you can see the first, the second, the third, and the last. The score of the last gymnast qualified for the final. So also in this case, I try to focus on the score, on the E-score, and of course on the final score. Going on with the other questions, where am I moving? So an analysis of the context, of the working context, so the composition of the national squad, so all the gymnasts that are available to be involved in the project for the, in this case, Rimini European Championship, and the final financial resources, because you know, it's important for my job, but I think also for a coach in a club it's important to understand how many financial resources he can count on, and maybe the training camp available, the international competition for preparation for the main event, and also, in my case, the quality of the coaches, club of the selected gymnasts. So from, of course, a technical point of view, but also from a social point of view, if it's professional coaches, or if he has maybe another work, so it's not always available for training camp or to follow the planification and to work together, and something like that. And of course, a analysis and a study of the other countries' progress. So try to find result of national competition of the other countries, trying to monitoring their progression and their state of condition. And of course, whatever needs to be taken in consideration. The other questions, the fourth one, where do I want to go? So we have to set the goal, and is the case. Of course, one of the goals was to repeat a team's medal not necessarily the gold, but it's important for Italy in that time to stay in the first countries also in the next European Championship. And I set a final score. There is a mistake, sorry. That was 240 points. And increase of the number of individual medals. Then how do I move? So what I can do, what I have to plan, so meeting with the gymnast and the coach to explain the situation, to make them involved in what we want to do to achieve our set, and what kind of activities during the training camp, setting of the short-term and medium-term goals, and think about the methods to enforce strong point and reduce the gaps, maybe development program to increase the D-score or increase the quality of the execution, etc., etc. So we can think what we need to do to achieve the goals that we have set. And of course, a final analysis of the results. So if our work has been done in a good way, if we achieved our goals, or if not. And in any case, it will be an experience for the future and can stimulate us to do better or to adjust something. And for example, analysis of final result. Here is the same Excel file of the previous one. So basing on Rimini 2024, an analysis of the results. And the outcome is that Italy won a silver medal. So first goals was achieved. Was not the goal like in Munich, but is a team medal, so it's okay. And team final score was 240 and 230, so second goal was achieved. The score 240 has been achieved from the team. And then 2 gold medals on floor and steel rings, 1 silver medal on vault and 1 bronze on high bar. So we increased the number of individual medal on apparatus in Rimini 2024. Of course, we can also have some comparison of the situation between the two competitions. For example, in this slide, I focused on the final score differences between Munich and Rimini, and the total score was like 2.8 more. And this also apparatus by apparatus, 1.7 on floor, 7/10 on pommel the same on steel rings, just a little bit more on vault, parallel bars the same, and some 4/10 more on horizontal bar. And the same analysis for the D score. And of course, in this analysis are taken in consideration only the 3 score that count for the team medals, for the team final score. And also here, in some apparatus, we increases our difficulties, in some other not so much, but it's a way to understand what there is behind results, and to have some focus point to work on for the future. Okay, so we can move to the second point of the evening, that is the training load parameters. So some definition, the volume that represents the quantitative parameter of the load, and it can be quantified according to various aspects like hours of training, number of sessions, or something like that. For example, in other sports, the total for weightlifting, the total quantity of kilograms that we lift up and something like that. The intensity is the parameter that is a qualitative parameter of the load, and very often is an index of the performance of the athletes, and very often identifies the best in competition. For example, in weightlifting, the quantity of a kilogram, in running the speed, or something like that. And the density is the ratio between the work phases and the recovery phases. And this is a definition by Hare. And so the problem in gymnastics is that very difficult to find a good and specific way to define, measure and record the load parameter. And there is not so much specific literature on artistic gymnastics, and the training methodology is often based on experience, and there is more empiric knowledge instead of scientific knowledge on this team. But in Italy we are working to find some solution on this problem, and we work since 2 years to find some way to measure the load parameter. Okay, in gymnastics literature, the volume is defined as the number of elements exercise that the gymnast performs in a training session or in a competition, but you can understand that is not a good way to measure the volume, because if you think about maybe your gymnast and Zhang Boeng, if they do in the same session the same quantity of exercise of element, the result is that they are doing the same volume, but you can understand that it's not possible. And so we have to introduce another aspect that is correlated to the complexity. Okay, and so based on the field experience, we are trying to find out a unit of measure for the volume in men artistic gymnastics. We wanted to find something that took in consideration, as I said, also the complexity of the movement, and we have a great resource that is the point of point, because the code of point define all the elements value in each apparatus. Okay, starting from this, we introduced the unità di elementi in Italian, that is units of elements, and we say and we invent with some fantasy to find a solution to our problem. That is what 1 unit of elements is the value of an A element multiplied per 10. This operation is only to have more, not to work with the tens, but with entire numbers. And so an A element is 1 unit of element of volume, the B2, the C3, etc., etc. And so the volume of a training session or of a competition is the sum of the unit of element of all the elements performed in that session or competition. Then we try to study the performance model in artistic gymnastics, and you know that, as I said before, in a lot of sport disciplines, the intensity defines the performance. For example, junior, but also for the senior with the next code of point, and the value of the elements, the execution quality, and we have to think that we have only 1 chance to perform this element. So the number